Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing on this scorcher of a week? Oh my god, I hate this heat wave right now. But climate change is a real thing. Don't know what to tell you. But
It's only getting hotter, folks.
oh my god, it is. It's hotter than the devil's dick out here. Even at night, it's humid. Like I was just like throwing out the trash and stuff for work. I'm like, oh my god, what is this?
It's days like these I'm grateful for central air.
Well, I don't have that, so I just survive. It's like Mad Max out here. Anyways, guys, we are going to be talking some more, She-Hulk, because this is the third episode dropped this week. And before we get started, guys, don't forget to, of course, ring the bell, give us a like, and don't be afraid to subscribe. We really appreciate it, and it helps all of us. So, because you guys get to stay tuned and feel like you're a part of something, and we just feel loved.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
There. That's where I feel it. Anyways, also it's a spoiler episode, guys, so if you didn't watch this episode, come on back after you did, so you can kind of join in on us for the most part, or you don't ruin the surprise. But let's get started, shall we? Again, this episode is also pretty straightforward, but this time we had two great cameos. Wong, of course, returned, and he looked awesome. I liked his new look, his more Sorcerer Supreme look, and of course, Thee Stallion, the ever great Thee Stallion, actually showed up, because that was easily one of the best jokes of the MCU. Is just that douchebag from Jen's old DA's office. He gets defrauded out of $175,000 from this light elf from New Asgard, which I don't know that actor, but she was great. She was hilarious. She was such a gem, and this thing is getting so much shit from people who love the MCU, like true fans, quote unquote, because how do we go from Iron Man to this? I'm like, dude, it's still great. Come on, you're telling me you can't enjoy this? Like this. It was one of the best. Yeah,
the MCU out of all things has never been silly. Oh, that's never been a thing. It's not like Star-Lord had a dance battle at the end of the first Guardians movie or anything.
Or Endgame pointed out how stupid his little dancing towards that vault where the Infinity Stone was like how dumb that was. Where War Machine's just like, so he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh man. But anyways, again, I think I kind of like that. It's kind of tying up. I like that She-Hulk is giving more explanation to some of these things. Like, Abomination coming out in Shang-Chi is because Wong needed him to train and, get that status. But also, they made some money off of it in Shang-Chi at the Golden Daggers Club. So that was kind of funny. And I like when she's questioning him, saying, okay, well, you have to explain to the parole board. Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to erase people's minds. It's like, oh my god, that's not what we're asking. That's completely unethical. He's just trying to use magic, and she's like, just show up. That's all I need to do is show up.
Yeah, we'll throw him in the mirror dimension. No? Okay. How about the dark dimension? It's like, no, dude.
It's like, stop trying to throw him in dimensions. Just let the law work, please. Oh god, that's why Wong has become such a gem in Marvel. He's lovable.
They don't call this phase Wong for no reason. The guy's everywhere, and we love it.
He really is. I mean, he's kind of like, I'm trying to think of the one. I guess he's kind of like the Nick Fury for this group right now, where he's just that one central leader figure, kind of like pulling everyone
the connective
together.
Tissue.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's how I would say Nick Fury was for the original Avengers. So I'm glad they kind of replaced him with Wong for that. And again, it was just pretty straightforward. Emil, the parole board interviewing Emil was pretty great, because he has his 7 loved ones or 7 true loves behind him. Just
his pen pals, which actually turned out to be just pen pals, and they looked like kind of like Midsommar vibes coming from them, a little cultish.
I mean, who knows, man? I'm still down for the Thunderbolt theory, where it's like they're just a front, and they could all be government people. I don't know, or they truly are just a cult.
I don't know if you did notice though that at the end credits, how they have those animations and stuff. There was him in a bus driving away from them. He's not staying around with them, and like he said he was going to be. So, I mean, there's that theory's still out there.
Yeah, I mean, it was, or again, he still is just a criminal, but he's just like, no, I know how to get people. I know how to sell myself because he is he was a a spec ops guy, so I'm sure he's not he's not a complete moron. Um, Other than that, that was great. And then the side story with Pug and Dennis and that light elf was her just popping up as these other people was great. She just couldn't help herself. She kept using magic, and I love when she's in the courtroom. She's like, Asgard is not a place; it's a people. And the judge is like, yeah, we're not taking any Thor heroic lines for this. Thank you. That's not going to work with me. Like,
like Thor's inspirational speeches aren't a valid defense. Okay, it doesn't track.
Oh my god! Like, it's like that's a massive technicality that would not work. That would not fly by any means at all. I think this one, I like this one a lot better than the last one. Not that the show has been bad so far, but I think the humor hit a lot better this time around. And I loved when Pug met up with Jen and Nikki just at the bar. Just, oh my god, oh, that Dennis guy. And she's like, okay, you need this. Gives him the martini, like, you've had a long day too. And he's like, how'd you guys stick up? How'd you put up with this guy for a couple years? Like, I killed him several times in my head. And she's like, he's completely delusional. That's it. And her witness was I guess testifying on that behalf was just gold. Like, it's crazy to think that insulting someone would help him win the case. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just going to show that the dude's completely delusional. Of course, a guy like this would think that he's actually dating the Thee Stallion, who's driving a Passat. It's like,
yeah,
no.
like, yeah, I mean, her reaction when she first walked in is like, you think you're dating the Thee Stallion? Like, you think that's a thing? Yeah, of course. Like, oh my god, I'm sorry, no, I don't. No, just a guy from the DA's office. No, that ain't gonna fly. She would not. It's Megan the fucking Stallion, okay? That, like, no, I can't. I couldn't even buy that. I was like, oh my god, you idiots. Oh god, just dumb episode. But I guess before we finish up, did anything else stand out for you before we kind of like get to the end of it a little bit?
No, I mean, just like you mentioned, a lot of the comedy bits in this episode really, really hit for me. I think this episode is sort of like kind of the show running on all cylinders, just because the last two were a little bit more, the origin story and then the setup of like her having to balance her, work and her superhero like ism stuff. So this one, it feels like this is like what the show like wants to be, like this superhero courtroom comedy procedural stuff. So a lot of that stuff really like worked for me. Like the two court cases going on simultaneously was awesome. But just I really liked a lot of the small little like comedic things, like Wong being a Target sales associate for 9 years. I like that was really good.
Again, it's like the small details that the show brings out. Just it's working for me so far.
Or her saying like, oh, connecting the A and the B plot. Like, yeah, okay, like we get. Or even her like breaking the fourth wall in the beginning, like turning to the camera, like letting go of the wheel. Like, okay, like you're driving, but her saying like, this isn't the cameo show, and then goes on to list like, wait, there is a lot of cameos in this show.
Yeah, and I mean, I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, there really is. But honestly, even if the cameos didn't show up, the show would still work for me, to be honest, because. Bruce is the only one I feel like that's the most necessary, just because that's her family, and he trained her so far to, like, help control it. But other than that, I'm like, yeah, no, I got you, Jen. This is still your show. Like, I hope that's not the thing. But I think they're kind of acknowledging, like, they saw this coming. Like, oh, no, everybody's going to be freaking out over the cameos and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to freak out when Daredevil comes back on and he just completely steals the screen for a few seconds, but...
And like even the meta nature of the social media reactions, I really dug that.
Yeah.
Where they were like the making fun of like that particular group of people that were gonna have issues with this show regardless of because she's a woman. Like they emasculated Hulk and like the team He Hulk and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, like they hit the nail on the head. Like they predicted the reactions. It's like, yeah, that side of the internet is predictable, to say the least.
Yeah, and it's mirroring exactly the same thing that's happening with this show. That geniuses, and I know people are shitting on Marvel right now. I'm like, I'm just sitting back and enjoying it. I'm just like, I'm still having fun here.
Yeah, I'm just having a great time, you know.
Just got to soak it in bit by bit. Um, and I like that when that was the one thing that actually ticked me off this episode is that because she chose not to go in public or like on a talk show. Like she's like, I'm just trying to be
Hmm.
me. I'm not trying to get in on the. She's not trying to profit off of this. She's just trying to be herself, which I admire. And the news people are like, oh, rumor has it she was rejected by the Avengers. She has Abomination's baby.
Yeah.
All this stuff. I'm like, oh my god, the media is just horrible. It's horrible. I'm just not digging that. And oh man, and then when she gets jumped at the end by these idiots with the Asgardian tech, and it's like, did you guys just rob a Asgardian construction work? Yeah. I'm like, okay, good
Yeah.
luck. She just dominates the shit on. That's actually, I think that's either another tie-in to the Thunderbolts or a villain we haven't seen quite yet. Because when one of them was like, yeah, I couldn't jab. Once she turned green, that ugly green skin, I couldn't jab her with this. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, so someone is trying to steal her stuff, and that could actually be. It made me think of your Abomination idea, where, what if instead they couldn't replicate the Hulk? Abomination is going to be the one to replace that spot, or Red Hulk kind of thing. So, um,
Yeah, and it is very curious, like who's the one that's trying to like get like some of her blood. Is it Contessa Valentina, or is it like someone like Kingpin? Like, there are a lot of players out there, or is it Sharon Carter? Like could it be her, and like what's going on over there? Like, there's a lot of potential, people who would want her blood to potentially replicate someone getting the Hulk powers. So the fact that it ended on that note is like, okay, like, well, I'm curious to see where this is going to go, because that opens up an interesting avenue.
yeah, I'm very curious to see how this plays out. And even if it stays, I was kind of thinking, even if it stays this lighthearted tone for like the plot and stuff, I don't mind it because that kind of works with the show. But I do hope it gets a little more
Hmm.
serious as it goes on, just because it's like, Jen, this is a big deal. You can't just keep playing this off. So I wonder if that's like like a reference to like the way like her breaking the fourth wall in the show's tone, if that's supposed to be how she's trying to go about stuff, you know what I mean? Like trying to be lighthearted, trying not to let it get to her kind of thing.
Maybe because there's that moment at the very end after, like, she fights off the potential muggers, where like she sort of like is like a little bit in shock, where she's looking at herself in the reflection of that car door, where it's sort of like, oh man, like that just happened, like I almost got jumped by these guys, and if I didn't have these powers, I could have potentially died there. Like, so there, I think that sort of grounded that, the moment at least. So potentially we might get more of those moments going forward, where, yeah, like you said, she has to sort of reconcile the fact that, this superhero stuff is serious. Like, yeah, it's fun in games right now, but when, people's lives are on the line potentially later on, like, you gotta get you gotta get down and gritty with it.
I almost took it as that she looks at herself and she's kind of regretting. Like, I thought it was more of like a cementing the ideas, like, oh, I wish I didn't have these, but it did save
Mm-hmm.
my life kind of thing. I think it could work both ways. Like, she still looks at herself like that's not what I want to be, or it's like I hate myself for being this, but at the same time I did just get out of this. So, it was like one of those dualities that she's still trying to wrestle with, like She Hulk, being Jen Walters, and it's hard, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think this show is one of the better ones that really shows the struggles of like being in the superhero life while trying to balance that out. Because no shows, I don't think any movie or show has really tried to justify that or like kind of put that
out
out
of
there.
out of all of them, I would say Daredevil. That series sort of, delved into that, him trying to balance like the Daredevil part of his life with the lawyer part of his life. So I'm glad that they're at least touching upon that here too.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's why he also comes in as like an extra, like an outside voice besides her brother who's super famous. Like, hey, I know what it's like too. It's hard doing this, being a
Hmm.
lawyer. So, who knows,
Good point.
man? Either way, I'm digging this show still. And I take it you are as well, Berm.
Yeah, I mean, especially this post-credit scene. Like, do you
Oh my
want to talk
god, that
about
was
that?
so great. I just, just solidified my crush of Megan Thee Stallion and Jen Walters. They're just.
Hmm.
I like how her boss comes around, just sees them dancing. He's like, all right, forget it. Like, what am I gonna? I'm not gonna. It's like I'm not gonna step in on Megan Thee Stallion because she's bringing in huge money for her. She's like my
Mm-hmm.
new clients. Like, it's like, how did you get Megan Thee? What are you gonna get Megan Thee Stallion for? But okay, cool. And I like that she was in the court case for the light elf thing too, because I guess
Mm-hmm.
she was involved, like getting defrauded as well, like being put in this situation. And she's like, there's only one Megan Thee Stallion. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't think I've loved a rapper this much in a while, to be honest. Like her just popping on this, it's like it was solid. And then twerking together was like, oh my god, Jed, you're just cutting loose, right? And I love she's like, oh my god, you're way better than my last letter. I will die. I will kill for you, Megan Thee Stallion.
Dial it back.
That was great. She's because it's like she literally could kill someone. Like, I mean, anyone could, but it's when you're a superhuman. It's like
When
okay,
you're super,
let's cool it down. That was
oh
great.
man, that was great. That was so good.
I think that one and the first one are still like
The
they're
Captain
tied
America.
for
Yeah.
just her. I knew it. It's like you're drunk. Oh man, it sucks. We gotta wait another week for it though. But again, I keep forgetting it's on Thursdays because the last two, like this week and last week, I kept waking up on Wednesday thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna watch this. I'm like, oh shit, it's on Thursday. I'm like, fuck. So it's just very confusing to me. But other than that, anything else that stood out to you, Burn, for plot wise or anything, or did we cover all the bases?
No, I think we pretty much covered it for the most part, unless I'm forgetting something. But if we do, we can talk about it later on, I guess.
Yeah, I think we got everything. We'll figure it out next time. But anyways, guys, let us know in the comments. Are you digging this show? What was your favorite part of this episode? Did you also love Megan Thee Stallion's cameo appearance? Because that was great. If not, stay tuned. Also, guys, Rings of Power did drop this week as well, so check out our review of that. And yeah, again, we got a lot more. We still got House of Dragon coming up this weekend too. And the winter, the like fall winter is coming around, so we are gonna get we're gonna start seeing more Academy nominees, as well as just epic movies to finish it off. I know I'm gonna go see Spider-Man again. Also, Cinema Day is this weekend, guys. $3 for movies. So if there's a movie that you want to see that you haven't, like Maverick, Spider-Man No Way Home, or I can't think of anything else. There's a crap load of movies out right now that you can see for just $3, and so far it's any format. So $3 IMAX, $3 Dolby. Go check them out.
Yeah, I mean it's a long holiday weekend. Why not use one of those days, to go check out a movie or something? Like you said, there's a lot of really good ones out right now.
Absolutely. But until next time, guys, as always, have a great weekend. Stay hydrated and cool this during this weekend for the heat wave. And as always, stay bodacious and keep on ranting for the both of us.
Yeah, everybody, be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one.